Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video about ADHD and how it affects me personally. So I'm going to be explaining to you my symptoms, my experiences with ADHD and how, certain symptoms affect me, and I'm just going to let you guys have an insight on who I am and how ADHD affects me. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get on with the video. My iPad here, and I wrote down some notes just so that I remember to say certain things, because otherwise it goes straight out of my mind. But yeah, let's get on. So the first thing I've written down is, what does ADHD mean to me and how does it affect me? And ADHD makes my life very challenging, every day there's a challenge I have to overcome. Not one day is the same. Every day there's something that I haven't faced before. Yesterday I had like a flash in my eye from one of the studio lights I have. It was like in my eye, and I got up and I could still see it. And to me, that's very, very, I worry about my eyes a lot. It's one of my main anxiety triggers, and I hadn't had to face that in a while because of my medication, my sertraline that I'm on for my anxiety. It was just about near the time that I should have taken my anxiety tablets, so it was wearing out, and I really struggled yesterday trying to get myself out of that type of situation with my eye. I struggled to control my anxiety, and every day there's something else that I have to learn to cope with on a daily basis. There's always different challenges I've got to overcome. Not one is the same. Like I say, everything is different, everything's harder, some things are easier to overcome, so every day is a challenge to me. The way that I can explain it is like juggling. Like when you juggle, you juggle a couple of balls, and you drop one, and then it goes out of balance, and you're like, oh, trying to catch up with all the balls you're throwing in the air, then they end up flying everywhere. That's my emotions, and my emotions are, they're so intense, and when it comes down to my emotions, they're very strong, dominant, vibrant. I think that's the word, They are so intense. If I'm happy, I'm really, really happy. And if I'm sad, I'm really down, and I can feel depressed. I can feel really, really anxious. And it gets like that sometimes. I mean, everybody gets like that, with or without ADHD. Everybody struggles sometimes motivating themselves and getting themselves in a good mood. And that's normal. But with ADHD, I find personally that it's hard to juggle all these emotions. Because, sometimes it's hard to, switch off. My mind's always on a loop, It's always got to be panicking about something. It's always got to be doing something. I have, racing thoughts all the time. And sometimes it's so overwhelming. It's like, you just want to go, because you just can't stop yourself from panicking, worrying, either being too obsessed, too intense with other people, overpowering. That's how my mind is. It's overpowering sometimes. And it just does sometimes get a bit too much, and that's just when you really just want to hit the mute button and just be like, shh, give me 5 minutes just to relax. But obviously, realistically, that doesn't happen. So that's how I describe how it feels. Although I have chose to be medicated, it wasn't an easy decision for me, as I was constantly worried about what about if I get addicted, or what about if I'm allergic to the ingredients that are in that tablet, or what about if it makes me put weight on, or what about if it changes who I am and my personality isn't the same anymore. I couldn't think of the benefits and the positive things that could come from being medicated, and I wish I did, because now I wouldn't have not wanted to go on medication. I'm happy with where I'm at right now in my life. I'm happy that my anxiety tablets help me, function a little bit better throughout the day, and my ADHD tablets are incredible. They suppress my anxiety and ADHD all together, really, and they work together as a team, and it makes me just feel a bit more human. I can conquer things that I wouldn't necessarily be able to function and conquer without these tablets. And that was my main worry, really. I was worried that I was going to become like, you know, reliant on the tablets, and I thought, oh God, what about if I get really like addicted to them, and that's all I can, you know, I can only live on those tablets. And it started to get really like worrying for me, because I didn't want to have to rely on tablets to live a life. And so basically what I'm trying to get at really is my mind is always on the go, and that's how my ADHD affects me. I'm always panicking, I'm always overthinking situations, I'm always like, you know, I'm just running with my thoughts just run away with me, and sometimes it gets overpowering, overwhelming, and you just really just want to like just sleep. And that's how I feel sometimes. If I'm sleeping, I'm not thinking about the bad things that could happen, even though I am, because I have really vivid dreams sometimes about my anxiety. So sometimes it's hard to escape like my anxiety and ADHD, but you know what, that's part of me, and I've learned that it's me, I can't change those type of things. So at the moment I'm learning to accept those type of things and move forward with my life. So another thing, I always look for the worst in situations. You know, there could be so many positives that could happen, but I'm focused on that 0.02% chance of it being bad. And it gets, that is very, very difficult sometimes to cope with. Not only me, you know, it affects people around me, because my opinions and my attitude and my emotions, that, you know, they affect other people, and that's really hard as well to deal with ADHD, because you know that you're affecting other people, and you could brush your anxiety off to like your younger siblings or your parents, and it's not a nice feeling, because you just want to have fun, you just want to be able to, you know, get involved and be normal. And sometimes it's really hard to deal with ADHD. It's just loud, busy and constant. It's just, sometimes. Question I'm going to tell you about is my symptoms. So my symptoms, they vary really. As I've gotten older, they've become different, and different strains of different types of things. So I've always been impulsive, forever. My mum and dad have always said, even when I was younger, you know, there was no, oh, let's do it later. It had to be now, or you can have it next week when we get paid. No, I want it now. And I've always been like that, and I still am to this day. And I hate that, you know. I have many arguments with my mum and dad, you know. I'll buy stuff when I don't have the money to, and I have other responsibilities to pay out for, like my dog, my phone bill, rent, you know, and I'd rather buy a £200 pair of shoes than pay my rent. And to me, it makes sense in my head at the time, but to my parents, they're like, well, why can't you wait till next, like when you get paid next time? But to me, I want it now. And, you know, it is very, very overpowering. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't just affect me. And that's the thing with ADHD, you know. It doesn't just affect the person with ADHD. It's like a wave, you know, like it affects me, then it's like a ripple effect. It just affects everybody around you. There's never just one person that it affects. Obviously the person with ADHD is the one affected by the ADHD, but the outcomes and the outbursts and the meltdowns and all these type of things, it's a repercussion, you know. It's like a ripple. Everybody that's around you will feel the tension or the atmosphere, or they get hurt by what you say. So it's never really just you that gets affected by things, and that affects me, because I don't want to be known as someone, you know, that people are scared to approach, or they're worried about, oh, will she shout at me, or will she be angry at me? I want people to approach me, because I am a nice person. I just have my days, you know, like everybody does. So I'm gonna so I get very intense about a particular thing, so I become easily obsessed and impulsive about that thing that I want, like there and then. I have to have it now, and I can't switch my mind off, you know. The only way that I forget about that particular thing is by then going on to something else. Then I want another pair of shoes, or I want the new iPad, or I want the new iPhone, or I want this, I want that. I always want something better, and it gets more and more impulsive and intense every single time, and that just leads to like mood swings, anger, frustration, manipulation. I'll become very nasty to people, like I manipulate them, and I can become very aggressive sometimes if I don't get my own way. And that at 21 is embarrassing, you know. I'm 21, I should be able to think, no, you've got responsibilities, you should be paying this, you should be paying that. But realistically, I'm not going to lie and tell you, oh yeah, my life's perfect, because it's not, you know. There's things that I struggle with massively, and compulsion and impulsiveness and obsessiveness is something that I struggle with. And, you know, my parents struggle with alongside with me, and, you know, everything that I do is on a whim, you know. It's like, what's the word? Like spontaneous, that's the word. Spontaneous. I never plan things. If I want to do something, it'll be a thought that I have really fast. I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do it now. There's no planning behind anything. There's no particular, you know, thought process. It's just, I want to do it now. I don't worry about the consequences of things. And that's where, you know, the ripple effects to come into action. It doesn't affect me, it affects other people. Because if they say no to me, or like, oh no, let's do it tomorrow. No, I want to do it now. And I get moody, angry, and cause an atmosphere. And it's, you know, it's not a very nice atmosphere. And I feel sorry for people sometimes that are around me when I get like that. But, you know, hey ho, it's ADHD. People accept me and my family for who I am, and they know that I don't mean it nastily. It's just my thought process. Hyperactivity. So that's a very, very common trait, because ADHD in itself is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So hyperactivity is one of the main, like, stereotypical traits for ADHD. But it's not always, like, just about bouncing off the walls or being like, hee hee hee. It's about being hyper. I personally, when I was younger, yeah, of course I was hyper. Any child is, but I was one step, you know, always one step above someone. I was always the one to run up the stairs. I was all the one to run down the stairs. I'm the one to jump on the bed, be boisterous, be energetic, and be clumsy. Just clumsy. Like, I'd be like, whoa, oh, sorry, you know. And that's other people's possessions that I break. I don't think about the consequences until after. Never been a good thing, never will be a good thing. So, you know, hyperactivity is a hard thing for me. But also, it's not just about being physically hyperactive. I have a hyperactive mindset. Again, it goes back to the impulsiveness. I have hyperactive thoughts where I hyper-focus on things, which leads to impulsiveness, you know. They all lead into one another. They all, like, egg each other on, if you wanna say it like that. They all, like, you know, oh, do this, do that, and then it all comes together and bam, it's a massive outburst and meltdown. So you know, hyperactivity, I get hyper-focused, I get hyperactive, I get all part of hypochondria, you know. I'm just my mind has to always be on the go, looking for something to stimulate me and my mindset. Like, I have to do something big. It can't be small, it has to be big. And there's no stopping me when I'm in that mindset. And I get very, very, very in your face and like overpowering. And people have always told me, like, shush, you're shouting. I don't mean to, it's just I'm so excited about what I want to say. I just want to say it. And I say it very loudly and passionately. And people really don't like that. It becomes people take it as obnoxiousness, when I don't mean to be like that. I'm very excited about what I want to say, and I can't wait to say it. So again, it's not always just about being hyper, as in jumping off the walls. It's also about hyper talking, like I'm doing now, you know. I'm talking really fast. When people say slow down, I should talk really slow, because sometimes people are like, what did you say? And I'm like, what? I just said it. And then I talk again and I'm still saying it really fast, and they're like, what are you saying? I can't understand, you're going too fast. When I was at work, people call me Tigger, because I'm constantly like, come on, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And I always want to have a laugh, and I'm always the one to start, you know, conversations. I talk to anyone that I'm comfortable with, and I just get so absorbed into my own hyper-focusedness and hyperactivity that I expect everyone else to be on the same energetic wave that I'm on. But realistically, they're not. They're like, what the hell are you doing? They look at me like I'm 5, you know? I'm like a 21-year-old in a 5-year-old's mindset. I just want to be having fun. I want to do things now, and I want to do it really, really fast, you know? There's never calm, there's never a chill time with me. Even if I'm sitting down, I'm like tapping my leg and, you know, Even when I'm talking, I can see in my viewfinder that I'm like moving my hands, like woo. But that's just what ADHD is, you know. just passionate about things, and you know, I may talk loud, I may talk fast. People don't get a word in edgeways when I'm talking, when I'm in one of these hyperactive moods. You know, I just want to talk. And sometimes even my jaw aches and I'm like, oh, what have I done to make my jaw hurt? And I'm like, oh yeah, I spoke for 5 hours straight and didn't shut up. And my mum and dad are like, what? They're just like, what are you going on about? You know, I could be talking about one thing and be like, oh yeah, look over there. And they're like, what? Like, you're just talking to me about chocolate. Now you're saying, look over there, look at that person's hair colour. Like, I jump from subject to subject. And, like, it's crazy because even sometimes I lose my own track of thought and I'm like, what did I say? And people are like, I don't know. You know, I haven't even been able to tell what you've been talking about for the last 2 hours. So yeah, it does get very overpowering, overwhelming sometimes, like hyperactivity. But it's not always just about, like, being hyper. So just remember that with ADHD. Like, every, you know, symptom of ADHD, as in hyperactivity, attention deficit, hyperactive disorder, and all these type of things, all part of it. It's like a tree. They have many different branches and it branches off. You know, not one thing is the same for another person. So just remember that, because just what I'm saying may only be what my personal experiences are. You may suffer with something completely different. So just remember that, because I'm scared of bright lights and flashing lights, and I don't like socks. I don't like my sandwiches cut in triangles, you know. I don't like loud noises. I don't like anything to do with my health. I don't like hospitals. I don't like doctors. I don't like people telling me anything about, you know, hospitals. I don't like watching programs about hospitals because I'm scared of something bad happening to me. I'm fixated on my eyes. I'm scared something's going to happen, or I'm going to go deaf, or, you know, these are my sort of symptoms and traits. Whereas yours will more than likely become something completely different, you know. So things aren't balanced, and, you know, 1 minute I'm happy, 1 minute I'm sad, and 1 minute I'm just really, really passionate and I won't shut up. So if you know me in person, you probably know this. But, you know, never be afraid to say, what did you say? Or like, shut up, because, you know, I'm used to it. So the next type of symptom, I kind of just like touched up on it, is hypochondria. I am very nervous about my own health and the health risks. I mean, at the moment, I'm a nervous wreck really about this coronavirus and the quarantine, staying inside, the lockdown things, because I panic. Like, what about if I need to go to the hospital and there's no doctors? Or what about if I need to go to the doctors because I don't feel very well, but then I catch the coronavirus? Or what about if something goes wrong with my eyesight and I can't see anymore? Or, you know, what happens if something happens to my family and all the doctors are dealing with the people with the coronavirus and there's no doctors available? So in my mind exaggerates every single thing, regardless if it's about my health or my anxiety, or if I'm worried about something. It just exaggerates everything. It makes things 10 times. It's like magnified, you know. It magnifies the issue by like 20 times sometimes, even more. And it's this small, but in my mind it's this big. And you just, you know, you want to try and think realistically. You try and make yourself think realistically. And then you talk yourself, you know, around sometimes, and you think, this is it, Molly, like, it's alright, you're going to be alright, things will work out. You think positive, and then bam, you know, ADHD's back, and the anxiety, hypochondria, all these different symptoms, they come flying back, and you're like, oh my god, I just talked myself around. And it all comes back, and, you know, sometimes you just sit here and you just think, why have I got ADHD? Like, am I cursed? Why is it me? Why do I have to have it? But, you know, you've got to really think about, you know, there's many positive things that come from ADHD. Like, we're passionate, creative, we think outside the box, we are very empathetic towards people that we love, and we are just very kind and friendly, loving people. We want the best out of every situation. We just want to be understood, you know. We want to have friends. We want to treat people the way we want to be treated. And I know sometimes, you know, it does get tough, and trust me, it does. But the main thing that you need to realise is you got to accept yourself before you can ever allow anyone else to accept you. Because in life, the only person that's ever going to give you the love and the friendship you deserve and the respect you deserve is yourself, you know. You've got to love yourself before you can ever let anybody else in. You're never going to have like the respect for yourself, and you will let others treat you disrespectfully because you believe that's all you're worth, and you're not. Trust me, no mental health issue, bipolar, ADHD, autism, Asperger's, you know, schizophrenia, any mental health issue does not define you. It doesn't change you as a person. It doesn't make you worthless. It does not. And anyone that treats you like that doesn't deserve your friendship or your companionship. Whatever it is, they don't deserve you. And I truly believe that. I've learned it in the past. So I've taken a step back from friendships, relationships, companionship, anything like that. I've taken a step back because I want to be my own friend, and I want to learn to love myself before I even allow anybody else in. And I believe that that is a good step towards, you know, helping your ADHD improve. You know. But I've learned from my like ADHD specialist that it's a good step to take. And obviously I'm medicated, and you may choose not to be, and that is totally okay. Like, I chose to because I have the severe type of ADHD and the combined type of ADHD, and you may not, you know, you might have just the inattentive part, or you may have it even worse than me, you know, you might suffer differently, which makes it worse than mine, but everybody's type of ADHD is worse and bad to them. So never put anybody down, you know, everyone is worth the same, everyone's illness is bad, you know, regardless of how little or how small things are to you, but to someone else they're massive. And that's how I see ADHD, you know. I might suffer with something that you might not, but that doesn't mean my thing is made up or it doesn't matter. And your thing that I don't struggle with, you know, that doesn't mean that your thing isn't important or bad either. You know, we are all suffering with the same thing, and I just want to make a community on here, on Facebook, with my blog post, that we can all stick together and help each other raise awareness of our condition, because it's so complex and people just believe it's, you know, down to the naughty child in the back screaming and shouting and making funny noises and trying to be the class clown. But like I've explained to you, there's anxiety, hypochondria, hyperactivity, impulsiveness, compulsionness, obsessiveness. I have to always have my mum on speed dial. I have to have my mum with me all the time if I can. I want to be with my mum all the time. I don't want to be with a friend or a boyfriend. I don't want that. I just can't cope with other people. The only person that I can like be myself around and that supports me is my mum and my dad. But my mum understands, and I know she's the only person in this world that does. And that's obviously, it's a horrible thing to say, but ADHD is so misunderstood. This is why I want to make these videos, because I want other people to realise it's not just bad antisocial behaviour or bad school reports, you know. We are academic, we are intelligent and creative, we have so many things going for us, but just nobody gives us the chance. So I really hope these videos help you guys understand that I accept you, and you need to accept yourself, because your differences make you unique, and who wants to be the same? And nobody is the same in this life. Everybody is different, and being different is what makes you you, and you are worth every smile, ounce of respect, ounce of love, because you are perfect. You are you, and that is amazing. You need to accept yourself. So just remember, you're worth it, and never let anybody tell you different. Again, my ADHD's here, so I keep going off track, losing sight of things, going here, there and everywhere. But I've got a couple of more little things I want to touch up on before I end the video. So I suffer with like hot tempers, aggressiveness, anxiety, depression and hyperactivity. And obviously my self-esteem is an issue with my ADHD. That's another symptom that I struggle with. I always compare myself to others at my age. I always worry, like, why don't I have a boyfriend, or why don't I have a friend, or why haven't I got a baby, or, you know, all these sort of things, or why don't I have a brand new, you know, 2020 plate car? Why can't I afford the brand new camera? Why can't I afford to live on my own? I always compare myself to other people, and that gets me very, very depressed. And I mean, very depressed. I start thinking about, like, is it even worth me living sometimes, because I think I'm not like other people. But actually, I have just as much going for me in life than other people. I have opportunities. They might not be the same as other people, because I'm not the same as everyone else. I suffer with ADHD, and that makes things difficult, and I don't give myself enough credit sometimes, and I bet you don't too. You know, we have to fight things on a daily basis, along with people with mental health issues. We have to struggle, we have to fight to get where we want to be. you know, because of this label and because of these like mountains and, you know, boundaries that we set for ourselves. We set these unrealistic expectations when really we just need to accept ourselves and just learn that we aren't always gonna be like everybody else, and our milestones to other people are like, wow, I did that 5 years ago, when really we're doing things by the way that we can, and we're doing it the best we can, and we need to be proud of ourselves because, you know, ADHD is hard, and it's really hard. There's not one day that ADHD is like not there, you know. Some days it's better than others, but it's always there and it's complex, you know. So I want you to realise that. Don't ever put yourself down, because once you find the support and the opportunities that you're good at, and you let yourself explore the world and let your like ADHD and anxiety, you know, for the better, learn to love them, learn to be passionate about them. Once you accept all of that, you really will start to see that you are just worth amazing things. You deserve amazing things. You're worth, you know, you're worth more than what you believe you are. And I really hope you start to see that, because you're not alone in this struggle with ADHD. I've got it. I'm pretty sure there's, you know, someone else in my family that probably has it, because it runs in families. And I have people that I know that I went to school with that have it, but I don't have it the same as them, and they're really successful. They've got their own business, and I look at myself and think, well, why aren't I like that? But I don't fight the same battles as that particular person, you know. And that's what we have to realise, is that ADHD is a label, but it doesn't mean I suffer the same as you or you suffer the same as me. We all suffer differently, but not silently, because nobody deserves to not have any support. And I'm always here to listen. Comment down below, you know, what you're struggling with, and I really hope there's a community that I can build for us that will allow us to express ourselves. If not, join my blog page on Facebook, Me, Myself and ADHD. It's a private group, and I've also got an open public blog. You know, I share some motivational quotes, I share my blog experience, my ADHD experiences, I write them to the best of my ability. Sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short, it's just, you know. So if you ever need to just read something or want to express yourself, feel absolutely free to go onto Facebook and follow my blog page. I have a great lot of people on there who are helpful. Most of them are struggling with ADHD, adults as well. So we can see it from all different points of view, parents, teachers, you know. So please feel free to always join that, because we're here for you. I have social anxiety very bad. I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I've never given in to peer pressure in those aspects. I don't go clubbing, I don't like nightclubs, I do not like concerts. I don't like crowded places, even going to Primark or New Look. I'm very, very, very like self-conscious about people knowing my clothes size, and then I won't go in shops on my own because I'm scared people are staring at me. You know, the room just seems so small sometimes, you know, and I feel like it's getting like really small, and I feel like everyone's crowding in and just staring at me and pointing out my flaws when nobody's even noticed I'm even there sometimes. It's very difficult, social anxiety though, because it's different for everybody. Again, no one suffers this, I don't know why it cut out, but basically all I was really saying is, you know, social anxiety, sometimes it feels like the floor, I'm like sinking into the floor, and the concrete becomes really, like the floor becomes really soft, and I feel like I'm sinking in, and everything seems to become really loud, and then my ears, you know, it feels like my ears are closing and everything's like so loud. That's how my anxiety plays on me anyway, socially. I don't like authority. I've never liked being told no. You know, at school I hated teachers. I had two like amazing teachers. They really understood me. They took time to understand me. But I treated them like rubbish, you know. And I'm going to do another video on my school life, because that's a whole video in itself. But yeah, authority was another issue for me. I don't like being told no. I always have to find a mother figure everywhere I go. I always have to, you know, everywhere I go I have to have someone who I know will be there for me just in case something goes wrong. Whether that be health issues or you know, anything. If there's something goes wrong, I want to know I've got someone there. And sometimes I can't find that, or that person isn't at work, or that person isn't at the college I go to. You know, sometimes it's hard to juggle these type of things, and it really messes with your emotions if they're not there, or you can't find that particular person to cling on to. It's like an attachment issue. I have to have someone like my mum around all the time, because if she can't be there, then my state of mind and my mentality and my mindset is awful. I don't want to be there if she's not there. So sometimes things are, you know, they're very overwhelming and very overpowering. But yeah, you know, I always have to find that type of person to make my day be okay. Otherwise I feel very alone and misunderstood. Masking my ADHD and anxiety is, I used to think it was stupid, you know, and I look back and think, why did I lie about that? And I think, oh God, Molly, you're a weirdo. But actually, it's a talent, I tell you. We are like chameleons. We can change to fit into the environment around us. It's almost like we change our colour, you know. We change our personality to fit into the people around us. For example, I've lied once and said, oh yeah, I drink, I do drugs, and I smoke, yeah? To try and fit in with a group of particular people that I don't really like anyway. And every person that I meet has a different version of me. Nobody knows me except from the 4 people, me, my mum, my dad, my granddad and my sister. They're the only people that know who I am, you know? Not a lot of my family know the extent of my anxiety and ADHD. They only see what I allow them to see and what my parents allow them to know. So like a chameleon is a really good way to explain ADHD and masking it, you know. We have to adapt to our surroundings, and I think that's amazing that I can do that. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've read it up online. This is how I found out this is what I'm struggling with, is a masking, and I have to mask socially to fit in, otherwise I don't fit in. I'm like I don't even know, in a basket full of oranges I'm the apple, you know. I don't fit in anywhere unless I mask and change who I am, because I'm never accepted. I'm just misunderstood. And by masking things, I end up lying, I end up like pressurising myself to become someone I'm not, you know, and I start changing my appearance to be like other people, to like fit in. And I hate that. I hate it, but it's my way of coping socially with my anxiety. If my mum isn't there, I rely on my talent of masking. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to go out. I'd be stuck in my room the whole time, because I don't want to be on my own, and I don't want other people to use my vulnerability against me, because that is what people do. They use it against you, and I hate that. I hate it, and I see it, and that's why I choose to mask who I am. I'm being 100% raw with you guys here, because I've learned that, you know, in order for me to feel more accepted, I need to be more open and be more understood, and I need more awareness of ADHD and the complexities. And I feel like opening up to someone, even if it's just one person I'm helping, you know, I don't care how many views I get, as long as I'm helping one person, that's all I'm asking for. Because this is a therapy session in itself. Like, I'm talking to you, well, the camera, and I feel like it's helping, because I can let things off my chest, and it's easier that way, and I find it really helpful, and I hope it helps you. So that's really all I've got really to say. It's just like, you know, hypochondria, that is one of the main things in my life that I struggle with, is hyper-focusing on things that aren't going to happen, and I over-exaggerate the things that aren't even there, you know. My sense of reality is stupid. Like, I don't know sometimes if I've made things up or you know, they're real, because I lie to other people to fit in, and I hate that about myself. But it took a long time for me to openly tell my mum that I think I had a problem with like lying. I thought I was a compulsive liar, but when I spoke to my ADHD specialist and I spoke to the doctors and GPs, and I spoke to my mum, and I was told about like masking, and it fits me so well, because that is what I do. I have to fit in, and in order to fit in, I change who I am. And I know I'm not the only one. Like I say, there's millions of people out there that probably do it. Not even just in ADHD, and many things like social anxiety, anxiety in itself, generalised anxiety, like autism. I know that is a part of autism, is and Asperger's is masking. And I'm currently being tested for autism. I'm just on the waiting list, so I know deep down there's probably more to my ADHD than just ADHD. So, you know, some things might not be directly ADHD related, but that's the only label I have and diagnosis that I have at the moment. So that's all I can put it down to, with these little unique things that I do are down to my ADHD, and I'm just excited for the future of this channel. I want challenges. I want to make fun content. I don't always want to be just sat here talking to you. I want to do things that you can see the fun side. I want to see the raw ADHD in me. I'm not going to ever edit things. If I'm having a meltdown and I get a bit anxious if I'm on camera, you know, I'm going to show you, because what's the point in masking all of it when I'm just trying to raise awareness and, you know, show you guys that you're not alone. And I really want you to know that you're not alone. So that's it for this video. I just really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't babbled on and bored you guys too much, but I'm just thankful that all of you guys are watching these, and I know that I'm doing something good, giving back to the community, and I really just want to raise awareness, you know. I'm passionate to help you guys, and I really hope I can, and I hope you let me explore all these different avenues of ADHD, and I hope I teach you something. If anything, I just hope I make you smile, because you know you're not alone. I do stupid things sometimes, you know, really stupid things, and then I look at myself and think, like, what have I just done? I've shown myself up, you know. But hey ho, it's ADHD, and that's me, and this is why I've called it Me, Myself and ADHD, because it is me, it's myself, and it's my ADHD. It's me. I am my ADHD. My ADHD is an extra personality trait that I've got, and I love it. I hope you guys watch my next video, and I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'm so happy you watched it. Thank you. Bye.